Hi, thanks for tuning in to my Steam Party how-to videos. In this video, we're going to talk about modifying the UMG, the graphics of the plugin itself to meet your own game style. So the first thing I want to do is kind of show you a couple ways to set up your scene or your editor to make it a little less annoying, because one thing I hate to do is when you're over here to go to your plugin content. Since this is an engine content, you have to have both of these engine and plugin content on. So as you scroll, you can see it gets pretty tireless. I should have named it A Steam Party, so at least it would have been up in the A's. So the workaround for that is to do something else. It's called View Options. Let's go to Show Collections. So then this opens a new window up here. So a lot of people may not even know what a collection is. Collection is like imagine like a Blackboard or a workspace where you can drop files that you're working on, you have quick access to. So what I want to do is create a new one, and I want to create a local one. So local one just is on my computer. So if you have like a team, you can do shared ones and private ones that you can distribute to everybody else. So they're pretty handy, especially in this specific case. Is the way I found to use them. So I'll call it Steam Party. And then what you'll do is scroll down to the Steam Party UMG. I'm only really interested in these widgets. So I'll grab these and drag these and drop it on Steam Party. Now what that did was it added 10 assets to Steam Party. So if I go back to here and I want to go back to that party widget, I can just click on my collection and boom, there's all they are there. They aren't a copy or anything. They are just a reference copy. So even though you click on this one, it opens up the copy up there. So don't worry, it's not a copy. It's just a pointer to it. In so many words, a referenced pointer. Let's go to the party panel. So the first thing you got to be very careful of is you may want to just open it up and like, all right, well, let's go ahead and modify this widget myself, and I'll go ahead and move this stuff around and do whatever I want to it. Right? Well, that's not the best way to do it because this is actually part of content. It's part of the plugin content. So if there's ever an update or even a new engine version, and you update it even automatically, well, technically not automatically. If you go ahead and perform the update and merge the files into your engine, it'll get overwritten with any new updated files. So any work you do on this will actually get overwritten as the plugin content gets updated from the updates themselves. So you gotta be very careful of that. So you don't want to work on the engine assets, the plugin assets themselves. You want to kind of duplicate it. So before, when we set it up, we kind of showed you how to hook everything up. That's kind of gets you in the functional stage. Now, if you're ready to go to the stylus stage to do a better layout, do a better art design to match your game, now you want to do is actually create a copy of that. So what I want to do is create a new set of widgets here. I'll call UMG. And you can name it whatever you want for your own game, of course. I'm going to drag a copy of this. So drag this over to UMG. I want to make sure I move it over. So hit move. Because we don't actually want to copy it, because then all the links that we have created before would be broken. So the trick on this is to go here. And if you notice now, if we go to actually the Steam Party, here, this is something I kind of want to point out, that the party panel is no longer here, right? But it's still in our collection. So it updated the collection. That's really handy, especially if you're moving files around. It updates your collections. It's really nice. It's pretty handy, especially in cases like this. So this, I now know it's being referenced from the path game flying UMG instead of the Steam Party. So what that does for me is now this won't be overwritten. But there's still one more problem, is that you could actually have, whenever the engine updates and you get a new content, or you install it to the engine from an update or something, put a file there named w_party panel. So the best thing to do is go ahead and rename it now. So I would go ahead and click on it, hit F2 to rename, and then I'll call it W Air Battle Party Panel or something like that. Now what happens is once you do that, there's the magic of everything that's linked together. So what do I mean by that? Everything's relinked. Everything's connected up. So if I just save everything, save all, and then right click on the content, you got to click it, highlight content, right click, and hit Fix Up Redirectors. That'll make sure everything gets saved and relinked. Sometimes there can be multiple levels of redirection. So we'll go ahead and do that again. Hit Save All, and then you click on the content, right click, and hit Fix Up Redirectors. And as long as there's nothing else being generated saying moving and saving, you're good to go. The redirectors are all cleaned up. So now since our redirectors are all cleaned out, there's no confusing on that, confusing links. I'll go ahead and open back our player controller. So we'll go back to a player control menu. And if we go to this right here, guess what? This got updated automatically to Air Battle Party panel. So everything is linked together, and it's not a nightmare to manually reconnect everything. So you just basically move the party panel out of the Steam Party content itself, and then once you do that, it links everything, and then also it won't have a conflict on a future update from the engine. So that's the best way I found to do the modification, and you can apply it to that technique to many other plugins or projects or content movable processes for your own project. So it's a kind of little trick. All right, so, or I guess a smart workflow. All right, so that's a dirty little secret. So anytime you want to start modifying any of these plugins, what you're actually going to have to end up doing is pulling these bad boys out. So I don't want to pull out party. Go to there we go, and not the party panel, which I named Air Battle. But that is interesting because, oh yes, the party panel. There you go, Air Battle. So that's also updated my collection, so I know it's already there. I'm going to go ahead and I want to move these. I wonder if I can move these from here. Okay, let's try it from a collection and see if it moves there and knows move here. It looks like it's smart enough to move the file referencing that this pointer is talking about into the new location and still keep it in the correct class collection. So I'll go ahead and save all. I want to do save all and then right click, fix up redirectors. All right, now then the next step would be to go in there and start renaming each one of these buttons. So let's talk more about those buttons. I'm going to open up the Air Battle Party panel. Okay, so I opened up the Air Battle Party panel that we just created and renamed. And once we're in here, now we have the widget we saw earlier. So we have the chat box, and we can modify these positions freely now. There is a some of these buttons are their own widgets. So if we click on here, we see that the, I'll open this a little bigger. It's hard to see it over here. There we go. That's why I had it so big, so we could see this. So over here, you guys see the parent class. That this is the parent widget that this is created from, which is the edit party chat window. So I'll open that up. And what you see here is all the background components, so we can actually change out the background and the buttons or the icons. We can just change the icons. Let's go back to the party panel, and then we have our pictures here that we can change out for the icons for whatever for the host, and then also for the blank spots we click on the these images down here and change those out. These images basically are the ghost slots to show you how many players are actually can be added to it. I'll show you another video how to change that for different numbers of players between, let's say, 8 or 4 or 12 or 5. So I'll show you that in another video. For right now, I want to kind of show you about the style guide. So these buttons here, these are example buttons. These don't actually create. They're dynamically created once you start having the party. There's some other elements of this I may update to be more dynamic and to take some of this boilerplate work out of it. If we click on this, though, we want to edit that slot info. We can actually change the default background instead of from the W3 Studios logo to whatever logo you wanted, your own game logo or avatar. In case, basically, if there's a avatar from Steam, it'll put it there. If not, it'll be this image's default or a white image. Can't exactly remember off the top of my head. So we'll go back to the party panel. And then we'll open up this one. This is the party slots. We'll open that, hit edit. And then in here we can individually change what options we want. If we want to add new options for our game, well, here's where we would do that at. This should expand. In fact, I think if we scroll down here, there is a new button that hasn't been completely done yet. It's the promote leader. So you can kind of see where you can add new stuff to this control. And then again, you can change the font, you can change the background colors, the style, anything for the texture. This is where you would do that at. And let's go back to the party panel. And then now we'll look at the invite panel. So that's the same thing. This is a party friends. We'll click on that. And then again, this is another example of font changing, color changing, the background changing to even a texture if you wanted to. And then we have these dividers. You can open these dividers to have a different style than just what I have here. You add pictures to it. You could do whatever style you wanted to do. And the same thing for these blocks. These are your friend rows. We can actually open that up too. You open that up, and you can actually come in here and change out, the default texture that pops in there, the font and the background, even the style and the colors and everything to your own specific game style. So back to the main panel here. Basically, the last thing I have to go over is the invite panel. You can do the same thing here. This is just a text pop-up and buttons. You can move those stylos however you want. So this is how you would get to make yours look different than the standard plugin content itself. So again, if you have any questions, definitely leave those below. In the future, I may do some more refactoring of this to make this more dynamic, since they now have pre-construct where I can actually modify how it looks as we are working in UMG. So I'll look into that in a future update. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.